Windblown, new roguelike made by the Dead Cells people. Those guys, they made Dead Cells and more Dead Cells. Yeah, just a lot of Dead Cells, honestly. It's all I got on the Steam page. It is another roguelike at a slightly angled perspective. I do love that angled perspective. Can't have it top down, you gotta have it at that, 45, you know what I'm talking about? If you like Dead Cells, you'll like this. It's a roguelike. You kind of know what you're getting into with these kind of games. You know what you're getting into with this kind of company. And that's what I like to call fucking quality. I used to be a pretty big fan of roguelikes growing up. I used to play this little one called Enter the Gungeon all the time. And I'm not going to talk about it because there's a couple people here who are still asking me to go back to it. And no, I'm not finishing that playthrough. I don't give a fuck. Trying to stream Enter the Gungeon 100 times in one go literally broke my original Windows XP computer. Two things before we get started with this. One, I was not expecting to make this video anytime soon, or if at all. I was expecting this to get no votes, but this not only somehow beat the new Call of Duty Zombies video that I was going to do, but it also beat the Fallout thing, which brings a tear to my eye of sheer joy to know I'm no longer the Fallout guy. So thank God for that. I have been officially saved from a fate worse than death. I can't thank you guys enough. Nothing will beat this moment for the rest of my career. Second thing is, I was actually saving this to do for the Next Fest Steam Demos video I was working on because I wanted to do another one of those. And I didn't really look into the game a whole lot. I knew it was coming out, but beyond that, I didn't look at a whole lot of stuff. So when they ended up releasing it in early access, I kind of got mad because I don't have a whole lot to say about the game, but it was enough for a demo thing, so now I'm kind of in the situation where I'm just gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna let it live in the pen, and maybe it'll get along with everything else, but we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. I can give a pig wings, alright? I can put him on him, but it doesn't mean he's gonna fly. But if he doesn't fly, then I take him on the back and Arby's needs his meat. Anyway, let's get into this. Like and subscribe. Thanks. My chair is reaching terminal velocity, so I had to I'm on the ground on my knees, because if I sit in that chair any longer while recording this, it is going to execute me femur breaker style. Split my spine in half like it's fucking Moses, man. Anyway, quick story rundown from what I know. You are a man who is in the tornado, and you need to get farther. I don't know what the fucking story of this game is. I have no clue. I've played 4 hours of it, and I still have absolutely no idea what's going on. There's an island. It's got some people on it. You keep throwing up whenever you land there. I guess you just don't like dying, I guess. You can revive yourself. You help people. That's quite nice. You seem to be a morally good citizen. Bravo. Very nice of you. Your swag is either absolutely on point or abysmal, but that's up to whatever character you pick, and there's only a couple characters who are correct. One of which, knowing by the rate I'll put this video out, you may have only a week to get, so that's fucking cool. And there's a slight idea everyone is going to die someday. Very soon. And for some reason, you keep dying, coming back, getting in that fucking cannon, and shooting yourself into a tornado, because I don't fucking know. Why not, I guess. Let's just be honest, you ain't playing this game for its goddamn story, alright? You're playing this game for the gameplay, and so the story was very much kind of a reason to put you there, more than a, brow-wrinkling kind of daring tale that I can think of. Dead Cells did this pretty well, where it was just kind of simple. You wanted to fight the big bad guy at the end, because your cell was dead, or some fucking bullshit, who knows. It's like if you played Minecraft for the storytelling. You're not really here for the right idea, are you? You got your heart's in the right spot. You want to get into the game, but you just don't fucking get it, and you're going to get bored and probably turn the game off in a while because nothing's happening for a numerous amount of hours because you're looking for some booklet with some bullshit in it instead of building a fucking house. The world. This is where I come to an issue. So let's just go over the ones that I know, or I've done so far. The opening area, pretty bland, kind of your opening, it's just your kind of yellow autumn field. Enemy design's pretty fun, everything about it's pretty good, but it's very much feels like your tutorial area, and just kind of start off idea. Nothing crazy to look at, nothing super interesting or exotic around it. Second World does it really well, the little robot feel there. It gives me huge Nier vibes. and I adore that a lot. The rat dungeon is fucking awesome. I love rats. I love the little pirate guys, but I'm just a big fan of pirates. One day I'll do a Sea of Thieves video again. That's on my own agenda board. If only anyone fucking played it anymore. All my friends went to college, man. I'm old. The second opening area, that's kind of like the spider den place, is pretty cool. It does just feel like the other starting area with just a different shade on and spiders. But it's a starting area. It's kind of meant to mix it up a little bit. It's like picking Crimson or Corruption in Terraria, you know, a little mix up, but you know, it can have a different feel later on. The weird test subject place, I don't really get it. I don't really know what's happening. Why are there big giant vats full of fucking Bionicle enemies in it? If you told me these enemies were on the set of the like Bionicle movie, I would believe you, because they kind of have that feel to them with all their little attaching parts and whatnot. But they're fun. I mean, it's enjoyable. I don't know what's with the tentacle hentai, but I mean, it's fun enough. And for everything else, I can't fucking tell you, because I can't beat these games, because I suck. The gameplay in this game is absolutely phenomenal because it is made by the people who made Dead Cells, and it is very similar to Dead Spells, except with a different thing. I said that incorrectly every single time. It's 4 in the morning. Please cut me a bit of slack, man. I've been needing to get to this for the last like 3 days, and I finally been able to get it. Alright, just please. Please. And the start of every round that you have like a decent unlock schedule, so you got like most of the stuff unlocked. You have the option of 2 different weapons, range, there's a bunch of different items, range, shields, spears, weapons, swords. 2 like bombs or trinket kind of items. They're called trinkets in game, but they can be anything from like AoE attacks to bombs or whatnot, all the fucking between. And a kind of bigger trinket, I like calling it big trinket. They're kind of more like movable items. I saw the one that I ended up using was like a movement kind of thing. And they all kind of mix together with different perks you can get. This is something I actually think they do a lot better than Dead Cells did, which is allows you to be more creative and actually mix all of your weapons together instead of focusing on like one specific item or like segment of items throughout the game. For instance, you could swap between a ranged and melee weapon with a quick swap attack, and you can do these multiple times in different ways to kind of jump between things and get a little bit of vulnerability in between. And the perks that are in the game are phenomenally well done. They all allow for you to just mix between everything super fluently and actually have a reason to jump between different things. For instance, there's ones that are specific for when you do this final like RT attack move, or doing something like swap attacks do more damage, or marking enemies to get certain abilities or buffs when you kill certain enemies. It makes a really good loop of not only being able to use a certain build and focus on one direct thing and focus directly on it if you want, but also allow people who directly do one specific thing to have enough versatility to move around and swap between different things. So if you want to just do range, but you have a melee weapon on the side that may have like a mix-up move that has a ranged attack, it allows you to have a melee weapon on you in case you needed it. Same idea with trinket builds or different AoE builds or whatnot. There's always a little bit of versatility you can do when you need something that's a little bit different depending on the enemy you're fighting. And the progression of everything is usually pretty good. Everything's pretty well done. There's a small but okay selection of very versatile and mix-up perks and whatnot you can get at the very beginning of the game that grow over a while. There is some issues with it, which I'll get to later, but overall it sticks pretty well together. But if there's one thing that slaps harder than fucking Nineveh from the VeggieTales Jonah movie, it's the goddamn music. Why'd I leave a fucking Jonah joke in there? That's the second religious joke I've made today. Is there something I'm like forgetting to tell myself? The music in this game goes so unbelievably hard to the point where I almost feel like it's ruining the situation they're in. For example, listen to this one. Where do you think that takes place? That gorgeous chorus. That's the first level. And it just happens randomly. I think this is one of the only games I've ever played where I feel like the music is so good that it makes the situations it in feel wrong. Because it will just happen whenever. with one exception of the opening trailer. The opening trailer is unbelievably hard for no reason. Problems. There are a couple issues that will probably be fixed before the game is fully released. This isn't early access. It just came out like a week or a week and a half ago by the time of putting this up. We'll see. But there are some things that can really annoy you or kind of just slightly bother you. The biggest one that I've had were some of the glitches with UI issues or things that just kind of ruin your runs. There was one specifically when I was playing with a friend who just kind of... I didn't even talk about multiplayer. That's for you guys to figure out. Go have fun with multiplayer. I had one of my runs get absolutely smashed because there was a thing about like a 3 times counterattack, but because I died beforehand and my friend ended up getting to it, it didn't leave my screen, and so when another UI pop-up happened, it basically just broke the whole game. I wasn't able to move, and I had to just alt F4 the whole game. But things like that I feel like are gonna get, you know, rubbed out pretty quickly. I should use the word rubbed out. Patched out pretty quickly. This game does shockingly well with the whole perspective issue. I know with a lot of games I kind of do the angled perspective. The hitboxes can seem a little odd at some points because you never really know how far you're dashing, especially when it's coming towards the camera, how far you gotta dash to like get the angle just right. And it mostly happens with any enemy that does like a big AoE or 360 spin attack. But it's never enough that it feels like it's bullshit when it happens, so I kind of let that one slide. My one major issue, which is kind of my own like personal grievance, is just kind of how the progression can sometimes block your ability to do certain builds because of how massive the damage gate can be. For instance, things like Elite Counterattack, I think is what it's called, Elite or Advanced Counterattack, which basically just boosts damage of doing counterattacks if you want to do a build based around that. Or not, like swap attacks really. Is a random drop thing that you then have to research later on. And it feels like things like flat damage boost and whatnot like that are very rough to put behind something that you can just kind of maybe get at one point. I think for most people it won't bother you a whole lot, but I know I personally love doing some of these specific like swap attacks or counter attacks, or things like the RT, like final shot ability. But if you don't have the exact perks to work with some of them, then it makes it really difficult to actually make a build around it until you end up finding those right perks and then unlocking them. There's punishing players for bad like build diversity and like making horrible builds so they're not able to get past things. And there's punishing players because they haven't won the axolotl slots and gain an ability that's just a flat damage boost. I understand there's more that you can do, like kind of mix up abilities and whatnot. I think that's more okay when you have it locked behind, but something that's like a specific damage boost to a certain type of item that kind of like plays into how you like build and whatnot as you go through, that you don't have access to, so it shuts you off from doing that idea early, just kind of stifles creativity or showing how strong something like that could be. Also, personal grievance and personal things that I would like. For one, give me some more customizations for the little lad. I want a couple more dudes to pick from. Once again, early access, obviously. And second off, if I'm playing by myself or if I'm playing with other people, give me an option to change my color, because I don't like blue. That's it. That's my only other grievance I really have about this. If you like Dead Cells, if you like Skulls, if you like Dead Estate, if you like Enter the Gungeon, if you like RoboQuest, if you like roguelikes, in general, you will find joy with this game. You will enjoy this game. You can have a lot of fun with it. It may take a bit to get to a point where you feel like you're actually able to do the builds that you want to do, but it's so much fun getting there. Also, one other thing as a personal preference of mine, if you beat the whole game and you get past the final boss and everything and you do it legit, can we have like a sandbox mode? Give me like a mode where I can just have like as many perks as I want, like a Risk of Rain kind of thing where you can just keep stacking them on top of each other. I know it wouldn't be balanced; it would just break shit after a while. But give us the option. I think it'd just be a lot of fun. Other than that, yeah, this video's gone on a lot longer than I thought. We were at 15 minutes. This is kind of crazy. No one's made it this far, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. I'm getting a lot better at talking to myself, and that's kind of scary.